the Nikon FM3a, which is slowly becoming my favorite film camera. Small profile, this 50mm f1.8e that most of them come with. If you are buying one of these cameras, I recommend this lens highly. It is one of my favorite lenses that Nikon has ever produced. And it's a pretty simple camera. There is an auto shutter speed, which is helpful, and the meter, in my experience, is quite good. There is an aperture ring on the front of the camera. So if you want to get lazy, you set it to aperture, say f2.8, set your shutter speed to A, and you're off, taking photos. There's no film in this camera yet. One of my favorite features of this camera is the off-on button. So right now, the camera is off. You cannot hit the shutter button, which is great for when this is in your bag. And then when you put it up like that, where's the shutter button? There it is. You can take photos. For wedding photography, this is my favorite camera because it fits easily inside my bag. I have a messenger bag. I usually have, say, this Sony a7 IV, maybe a Canon R6, and a second backup body, and then this goes in the last compartment. And from a business sense, it's been interesting to see film because when we started shooting film, I'm gonna say about most of my cameras, 2011, 2012, and there was no real demand from couples. There was a fun factor going out in the world taking film photos, but my couples didn't really care. I would say over the past year and a half, 2 years, all of a sudden, film is in demand for weddings. So if you're looking for a way to market yourself a little bit differently than everyone else in town, weirdly, I recommend shooting film. I know that might sound really stupid, but it will actually help book you weddings and make you more money. Let's walk through the top of the camera, shall we? This is your shutter speed. If you're on A mode, it's locked. Gotta hit that button. Then you can rotate it. This is what advances your film. So after you take a photo, you go to the next frame. And if you want to turn the camera off, you do that. Over here is your ISO. You simply pull it up a little bit so you can rotate it. And you also have exposure compensation. So you'll see that this dial as a whole is locked right now. However, if you touch that button, you can change it. So if you want to shoot, say, your Portra 400 at 2 stops over, it makes it very easy when running on A mode. And you don't have to do the workaround of just rating your film at something different. You can just rate your film at what it is and give it some bonus stops. All right, loading your film. You do this, then it opens up the back. It's raining a little bit right now, so we're gonna do this a little bit faster than usual. Put your film in that side, slide it over here, just put it in like that, then you advance it. There you go. Once you know it's secure on there, close it up. You're ready to take pictures. When you're done your roll, you hit this button on the bottom end, which allows you to use this dial here. And you just spin it around, and then the film goes back into the canister. You can kind of visually verify that there is film and that it is advancing properly by this thing spinning. So let's stand up from the table and take a photo right here. You're in Iceland, so every direction you point your camera is fantastic. I'll do 3 photos from this table right here.
What if I point the camera straight down?
And they're all gonna be great. If you point the camera straight down and you're on the rocks, if you're over here, that's a great photo. Here, picnic table, not so good. All right, see?
Damn.
That's fine. Point it forwards, see? Point it over here, get rule of thirds with our Airbnb in it. And go this way. See? Welcome to Iceland. Easiest place in the world for photography, except for if it rains and it's 100-kilometer-an-hour winds like we've experienced so far this trip. Today, though, it's pretty nice. All right, let's do those 3 photos I promised you. Photo 1, right here. You may recognize this mound from the Nikon show where I walked up it in cinematic slow motion and then glitched along. Here's another photo. Here's another one over here. What am I set to? Good f4. A little more depth of field. Maybe out this way. And we'll go vertical right here. I'm gonna go down to F8 because F8 is great. And That was a little bit slow. You're gonna be blown away by the framing of that, the fact that there is a falcon in the window. Manual focus this camera. Most of the lenses, you'll just turn them. And you can see exactly through the lens because the mirror bouncing. That's why it's called an SLR. Single lens reflex. Nothing to do with the mirror, but I thought that the word mirror was in it, but it's not. Let's go over to the hot spring here. Here we are at the hot spring. Would you like to photograph it on a Nikon FM3a? Here we go. Oh yeah. That's great. We're gonna set it to f5.6. And boom, picture. So what I like about film photography is the randomness of it. Especially with slide film, you think, let's finish this on the trampoline. You think you know what you're getting. Sometimes you get that, sometimes you don't. I can't jump higher because my breath will be distracting because I am not as physically active as I was when I was a child. Sometimes though, the film will come back completely different than what you intended it to be, and it will surprise you, and it will make your artistic vision in the future better for that, both on film and also in digital. Potentially the way you edit, it will change your life. The Nikon FM3a, life-changing for all. And also it will make you millions of dollars. These are not guarantees. But it is fun. Let's take another picture. That one's great too. How do you feel about the Skoda? I think it looks pretty great. This here is a mountain. That one's not really a photo, but this lake probably is. Landscape photography from a trampoline coming soon to the Olympics near you. I'm gonna get off of here and we'll continue our tour, the Nikon FM3a. I have to go over here to continue my work, the Nikon FM3a. And boom, photograph of a Skoda. You didn't notice that Skoda before, but now you do. This used to be a Royal Navy station. It was their weather station at some point in time. And now it's owned by someone else. And actually it just opened as a hot spring. You can come here if you wish, or you don't have to. Let's take a photo of an anchor. Before coming to this video, I bet you had never seen an anchor in Iceland photographed on a Nikon FM3a. But now you have. And there you have it, the Nikon FM3a, a great camera for you. And at a great price point still, because as we've seen over the past little bit, something like the Leica M6, which is an amazing camera, the price makes it basically not my recommendation for you if you are looking at film photography cameras. This, great all around, great size. This one comes in emerald green. I don't think you can find one in emerald green, but if you can, maybe get it. Or maybe it's the ugliest version of this camera in the world. But until next time, I'm Taylor Jackson. Don't forget to subscribe.